Good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon the hour. I just had the opportunity to present our report to the Security Council regarding the current situation in the Congo in both open session and informal consultations. I was seeking to provide information to the Council in terms of the state of preparation for the elections, the national elections expected at the end of November, as well as a review of the general security situation in the East, in the eastern part of the country, and the general situation relative to our mandate and our work seeking to accomplish that mandate. I'd be happy to try to answer any questions you may have, however, regarding the report, the Secretary General's report, or my own presentation. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks a lot. I wanted to ask about two things. One is there have been, at least it's said that Etienne Tshisekedi has said in advance that he's the winner or has somehow threatened violence. I wanted to know what your sense of that is. And also there was this expose in The Independent talking about a report by a Belgian firm that's in charge of biometric vetting of the election, saying that there's a possibility of double counting in 4 provinces that would favor Joseph Kabila. What's your view of that? Have you seen the Zetis report, and what do you think of it?
On the first question, I have seen the reports of comments that reportedly were made by Mr. Tshisekedi in a television interview in Lingala, as I understand it. If I have the information correctly, certainly any incitement to violence, whether by Mr. Tshisekedi or indeed any other individual, is clearly a violation of basic democratic principles. It is not only counter to the spirit of the elections, but it is harmful. We have been engaged with the National Election Commission in the Congo from the beginning of the electoral process to do all possible to achieve a peaceful election environment. That includes the development of code of good conduct for parties and candidates to sign. We encourage all parties to do so. The UDPS of Mr. Tshisekedi has not yet done so, and we would continue to call upon the UDPS and indeed all leaders of all political parties to not only sign and observe the Code of Good Conduct, but to take all actions that do contribute to a peaceful election exercise and observance of the basic rules of democratic processes for valid elections, including, of course, accepting the results of those elections, as well as responsible behavior in the campaign and preparation period. Regarding the Zetes report, this is actually a report that dates back quite a number of months before, as I understand, Zetes was formally involved in the review process. I think if you'll check, you will find that there was a 2-page statement put out by Zetes on the order of about a month ago, a few weeks ago in any event, specifically addressing in detail the allegations put forward in that original report, noting the inaccuracies and the problems with that report. Zetes was one of 2 independent contractors that did a review of the election roster. The result of those studies by the 2 contractors found roughly 120,000 doublons or duplicates among the 32 million registered voters. As I noted earlier to the Council, this is on the order of magnitude that was found in 2006 election process, and indeed not out of order of what one generally expects in a election on when you have 32 million voters, that order of magnitude of problems in the electoral roster.
Now, and maybe I have this wrong. Would you say, I mean, some would say, is there like I'm not saying a double standard, but I mean 120,000 duplicate registrations. What's being done to eliminate those, or is that just a sort of acceptable?
They have been eliminated. That's the part of the review exercise. The Congo employs a very sophisticated voter registration system that involves, among other things, scanned fingerprint scans that are digitized and put into the database, a photo of the voter. Both of these are included in the voter registration card as well as the database, and include, therefore, the capacity to do a very accurate technical review for duplicates based on those scans and the biometric information, as well as the information about names and locations and so forth. So it is precisely that process that is used to find duplicates or other errors and eliminate those from the voter rolls before the lists are approved and then sent out to the individual voting stations. A further checkpoint in this is the fact that at the individual voting stations, which is the critical point, not only are national and international observers invited and welcome at those polling stations, but all parties are encouraged to send their own representatives as witnesses, and they themselves will have an opportunity to see and witness the procedures in the polling station and any perceived irregularities or problems that may be occurring. Those same polling stations become counting stations immediately upon the conclusion of voting when the last voter has departed, including the participation of observers, witnesses, and as well as the Election Commission personnel that are